Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's Mike at digitalnomad.net. Yeah, I've been saying it for a long time. Best, guess what? I didn't graduate from college. I graduated high school in 1988, grew up in the 70s and 80s. I'm 55, and I've never needed college. I just did my own thing. And it was hard to do your own thing back then. So colleges, if I didn't think they were necessary then, I really have said so many times in recent in recent times that it's only needed if you want to be in a certain profession, and that's it. Otherwise, it's just a giant waste of money, especially now it's getting worse and worse every year.
In America are going bankrupt now, as Gen Z has seen through the absolute scam that it is. And all I have to say is,
I also think that new cars are a scam. I will, not just because they depreciate, for other reasons. I'll get into that in another video in the future too.
Is hallelujah, goodbye, and good riddance to these criminal enterprises. Picture this. You just turned 18 years old. You're probably not even done with your last year in high school yet. And after you finally graduate from the dumpster fire of high school, you don't quite know what you want to do in life yet. This is totally normal for an 18-year-old. Yep. And in any sane society, you'd be given some time to take a break, collect yourself, and just breathe for 1 second. But unfortunately, we don't live in a sane society. We live in the land of our delusional asshole boomer parents constantly judging, dictating, and manipulating every action we take as if it's still 1960. As if good paying jobs are still easy to get and a college degree 100% guarantees.
Okay, and of course, as you probably know, wages have not, if you're a wage earner, have not kept up with inflation, not kept up with housing costs. It is more expensive than ever to do stuff. Of course, the old rules don't apply anymore. And I would love to see these places where the costs are astronomical. And one of the reasons why they're so expensive is because you can easily finance it, but you can never erase that debt. You can get enormous amounts of debt, and that's why it's so expensive. That's one of the reasons why housing is so expensive, is easy financing.
One. Now, I've spent a lot of time on this channel exposing how bullshit their expectations of you to move out, pay rent, and get a job in this insane economy is. But as stupid and as delusional as these boomer expectations are, they're still somehow not the very worst. In my opinion, the relentless pressure they put on you to go to college from the time you're 18 is not just typical boomer delusion. It's downright criminal activity.
If you're younger, or if you're a parent, do you put this kind of pressure on your kids? And if you're younger, did you get this kind of pressure from your parents? Because I didn't put this up. I think, well, neither of my kids went to college, for better or for worse, biological kids. My daughter-in-law, she never went, or she did, actually. She did. She actually got a degree, although it wasn't a 4-year degree. That's different, of course. But I would say with information everywhere, it's optional unless you lack the self-discipline. If you lack the self-discipline to build anything, then yeah, I guess you got to work for somebody else, and it does help to have a college degree.
A lot of the tactics they use to pressure you into taking $50,000 of student loan debt just to go to college shockingly resemble actual illegal practices that people actually go to jail for. Now, to be fair, I don't necessarily think they should go to jail. Some of them have legitimately good intentions and just don't understand how the world is now, but they should absolutely be fined a shitload of money for all the damages they've caused.
Yeah, I mean, well, you live in the land of opportunity here, the US and the world, anywhere that has internet service, which is everywhere nowadays. You shouldn't have to be enslaved by the wage slave system, that's kind of what college does for you. You become enslaved in the wage slave system. So I guess I get what he's saying.
Hey guys, so I'm on a mission and I need your help. You see, I've made it the purpose of this channel to defend Gen Z fashion, to hardcore pressure you into going to college, and they relentlessly shame you if you even consider another life path. They nonstop inundate you with all this propaganda of how you're destined to be a total loser and failure if you don't go to college.
That's the thing, and the reason why people would say that, who are older, is because they don't understand the opportunities that are out there. There's so many opportunities. I have been saying for so long that kids who are in school, grade school, as soon as they can start using a device, they need to find something they like doing. Everybody finds something they like doing and figure out a way to monetize it. Start becoming a producer, not a consumer. The problem with the internet is that most people are a consumer, and then they're undisciplined, and they have to go to these institutions because they'll never do anything with their lives. But if from an early age you are kind of fostered into the thinking that I just need to find what I like. I can make money. I can make money at any age. There's no minimum age limit. Start practicing when you are younger, because it's not till you have to support yourself financially that the pressure comes on. Do it before the pressure comes on.
College degree will earn you over $1 million over the course of a lifetime, which we all know by now is a total lie. I wouldn't have such a problem with them if they simply encouraged you to go to college. I have a problem with the fact that they constantly paint some dystopian vision of how you'll be homeless on the street or flipping burgers forever if you don't go to college.
Well, if you're undisciplined and you don't recognize the opportunities in front of you, then you will be homeless. You will, without going to college. But that is only one of the many choices you can make these days. In the past, it was different, but there's so many opportunities every day, constant opportunities for everyone.
Ironically, a degree won't even save you from that fate anymore, and we all know this. They literally look at you like you just spit at them if you tell them you don't want to go to college. They specifically mock Gen Z for wanting to be influencers instead of going to college and getting a quote-unquote
Well, a problem
real...
here is that I think like 60+% of Gen Zs or Gen Alphas think that they're content creators, but we know that that percentage of people is not making money or not anywhere near to support a household off of that. So you really got to be a creator you really got to create if you're going to be a creator, a producer, produce. You got to get that mindset set in early. If you wait too long, then these parents are right. And it's probably the fault of those parents that they didn't tell their kids about these opportunities. And then it's too late. You got to go to college.
job. And to be fair, yes, making it as an influencer is really rare, but so is getting a quote-unquote real job in this absolute dogshit job market these days. If you fail to make it as an influencer, at least you're stuck at zero instead of being saddled with negative $50,000 of student loan debt. So far, we've only talked about the emotional blackmail aspect of the equation. And as bad as it is, it's still not even remotely close to the absolute worst form of blackmail they use on you. They also blackmail you financially, which, by the way, is an actual crime, but of course, per usual, it's okay when they do it. You see, once you see through the bullshit of college and the entire system at large, you're going to come to the logical conclusion that you want nothing to do with this shit. The disgusting emotional blackmail tactics no longer work on you, and thus they have to take their shameless blackmailing tactics to the next level by now forcing your hand and financially blackmailing you too.
All right, if you as a child today were raised, like I said, where you're determining your interests, you're seeing what's out there online, you're finding stuff that you like and how to monetize it, how to build an income stream off of it, you won't be able to be financially blackmailed. You're only able to be financially blackmailed by these boomers if they didn't instruct you in that. But I'm out here on the internet instructing you right now. So if you got young kids or you're raising kids or you know anybody that is, please share this video with them because it really, really may help them.
Start threatening to kick you out, throw you out on the street, and cut off financial support if you don't go to college. And I guess technically this is legal after you turn 18, but it doesn't change the fact that it's absolutely...
It's also legal to completely waste your time on the internet. Like this guy does gaming. At least he's making some videos that have a lot of good points to them. The average person's just wasting their time gaming on the internet. He's not mentioning that. Of course not.
Disgusting, reprehensible behavior. It's like cheating on your wife. Technically, it's not illegal. Technically, you won't go to jail for doing it.
Okay, it's also not illegal to eat garbage as food or food-like products or food that creates disease when 80+% of all medical issues are non-communicable diseases. So you can slowly kill yourself over time, slowly but surely, and ruin your life, ruin the quality of life. Not illegal either. All kinds of things are not illegal. So this guy is a little bit over the top, I think.
But that doesn't change the fact that you're still an absolute pathetic excuse of a human being for doing that. Gen Z is graduating with unbearable record.
Well, you could say you're a pathetic excuse of a human being if you're purposely and knowingly harming your health by the food you're eating. It's the same line of thinking that this guy is saying. I don't know if you agree with this or not, but we run a nonprofit, plantbaseddiet.org. Check it out, health span and longevity. But this guy doesn't seem to care about health span and longevity. He just cares about other things.
levels of student loan debt, and despite accumulating all this debt, most of them are still unable to find the jobs they were promised. And of course, after this has already happened, delusional boomers and corporate shills are trying to gaslight and manipulate you into believing it's your own fault. It was your own personal choice to go to college and choose whatever degree you ended up studying, right?
Well, you need some wise counsel. You don't want to get a worthless degree, even though so many
after
of them
their
are.
own horrible advice totally fails and even backfires, of course they want you to believe it's your fault. But this is just total.
And by the way, it is your fault because you can easily research this. Go to an LLM, ask them what's the most high-paying jobs, easiest to get jobs that you can get with a specific degree, and then go get that degree. Don't get any other degree. That is something that if you're on the internet playing games all the time, you can easily take a few minutes and do.
Totally dishonest revisionist history. Because look what they were doing to you before you made the quote-unquote personal choice to go to college. Blackmailing you, emotionally manipulating you, threatening to cut off financial support and kick you out on the street if you don't go to college. Then, after all their dog shit advice doesn't work out the way they promised, all of a sudden, it was your own personal choice. Part 2, false advertising. I recently read a comment about how it's absolutely shocking that colleges haven't been sued for false advertising yet, and this actually brings up a very valid and interesting point. The best example of this I can think of off the top of my head is the whole widely regurgitated myth that a college degree...
Okay. All right. We will stop this here because you already know where that's going. And I agree with a lot of what this guy says. But there's a lot I don't agree with. He's making it sound like youngest generations are total slaves when they've had all this freedom on the internet and have just wasted their time, apparently, because they couldn't see any of these opportunities. They couldn't see how to research to, if they wanted to go to college, how to get a lucrative, high-paying college degree. And of course, AI is coming along. What you want to do is figure out how to do some income streams, like I said, while you're younger, before you have to go to college and make this lifelong determination at age 18. You want to be able to already have an income stream or 2 or 3 doing things you really like to do. And you don't even have to go to school to do that. Anybody can do this. There's no minimum age requirement. It is not illegal. Just like he was saying, what I'm just telling you right now is not illegal. Because I know people say, oh, there's minimum ages for workers, and there are. So they get hired at a wage job, but not to do what I'm saying, which is the new way of doing it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.